What's up, guys? It's Kitdale here. It's been a long time. But I'm back. And if you're wondering why I'm speaking into a microphone and recording with an iPhone, it's because I found hand cream here, which has nothing to do with what I just asked them, but I just did find that here. It's because I'm recording for a podcast as well, but I can't sync the two of them because the video doesn't go correctly with the sound. It works a little bit faster. Anyway, it's Kitdale here, back from kitdaletraining.com. I've been rather busy lately and I haven't done any podcasts or videos. One, because we had someone staying in my office as well. So she's gone now, but she has left her hairdryer, which is not going to benefit me at all unless I start growing out the bush, which is not going to happen anytime soon. Anyway, back to what I was thinking. There's two subjects I want to talk about today. How much training is too much training? Okay, what is that fine line? And I'm also going to talk about the Erberth Santos incident where he jumped into the crowd during a match with Philippe Penna and tried to attack people. I believe he knocked a lady down. I'm not sure if that's what he was trying to do or she just got in the way or whatnot, and then he attacked Philippe Penna's brother, and it was very embarrassing for the sport. And I want to talk about that first. And this is a thing that upsets me a lot. And I'll tell you why, because it sends a message out. And there's some people that think, oh no, that's tough. Someone was speaking shit about him, so I went and smacked him. Like, yeah, I've got a part of my ego that thinks the same thing, but I'm going to tell you why it's a bad idea to do that. And this is very similar to the incident that happened with Khabib, when Khabib jumped out and tried to Superman stomp Dylan Dennis during or after the match with Conor McGregor. These are two people that have been subjected to, let's say, bullying, okay? And what they've done is they've reacted physically. They've tried to attack them. Now, the reason why I say this is a bad idea, there is times where you will want to retaliate and protect yourself, but they're almost only when it's a physical attack. If someone's verbally attacking me, and I get verbally bullied, and I've had since I was a kid, I don't ever want to retaliate physically because it says that I'm emotionally weak or that you've got to me. And if I retaliate physically, that's what I am. A much stronger message is it says that you can say whatever the fuck you want about me, but I don't give a shit. You cannot affect me. Your words mean nothing. You're weak to me, and that's it. If they're physically attacking, then it's different. But most times it's just verbal. And we take it so personally, and we will think, I want to get him, I want to kill him, and I've been there. But I'm telling you, it's a much bigger and stronger message to be unmoved by someone else's negative words on you than what it is to retaliate. So I feel like the same incident with Erberth Santos, and look, I think he's a couple cans short of a six-pack anyway, but I think it would have been a stronger message to show that you're unmoved by the bullying from the crowd. Same as Khabib, would have been a much better. And he was talking about, Islam is a religion of peace or whatnot. It would have been a much better example of you showing that through not jumping the fence and trying to kill somebody. But that's just my point of view. Let me know what you think of that. The other thing is, how much training is too much? Now, a lot of people think that the more you train, the better you're going to get. It doesn't really work like that. There's so many factors to this, but I want to talk about one right now. And I look at this very similar to I look at weightlifting. So we're talking about memory retention or information retention. When you're doing martial arts, you want to retain the information. The more information you can retain, the better you're going to get. The problem is, how do we get maximum retention? And there is a few other reasons or other ways you can get better memory retention. And I talk about that in some of my other videos, but there's one I want to touch down on now. And I'm going to use weightlifting as an analogy to help explain this. So whenever you want to get bigger muscles or stronger muscles, what you do is you expose them to a certain amount of resistance. Okay, not too much or too little. Too little and your muscles are going to be unaffected, unchallenged. Too much and you might tear the muscle down too much or break it and injure yourself. You have to have it just enough so that your body says, so you get tiny microscopic tears and your body says, we need to generate more muscle to evolve and deal with that kind of stress again in case it happens in the future. And that's kind of what happens on a very simplistic level of what your body does when it's building muscle. And it does the same thing on almost every single area, is you will evolve to deal with that kind of stress. Now, a similar thing happens when you're absorbing information or you're learning something new. If you have too little, then it's not going to be mentally challenging or stimulating. You're not even going to need to remember it. If you have too much and you keep training, And what happens is you kind of get what you call like mental fatigue, and you don't allow yourself time to recover and absorb that information. So imagine you're doing weights 3 times a day. What's going to happen is you're not going to have time to recover. Your body's got no time to absorb that information, to really reprogram the body and build it. You don't have that time. I think a similar thing happens with memory retention. When you're trying to learn something new, is you're not giving yourself adequate time to absorb that information. I don't know if you've ever had a couple of weeks off or days off of training when you haven't in a long time, and then you go back to training and everything just works so well and you just destroy it. I do the same thing with learning guitar. If I'm starting to learn guitar, I put it down for like, a day or two, and I come back and everything's just synced in perfectly. And I'm so much better than what I would be if I kept training every single day. So something I did a lot when I was training is not train that much. And it wasn't because I thought that it was going to help. It was just because I was lazy, and it was more of a hobby to me than a lifestyle, as it is to most people. So I rarely train twice a day. Only time I would ever train twice a day, is when I was competing. If I was doing a camp or something like that. But even that was so rare for me. I was training like once a day at most. And it doesn't mean I was training every day either. I would have a lot of days off. But I still excelled really quickly. I went from knowing no grappling to, in 4 years, being a top-level black belt, which is very unheard of in jiu-jitsu. There's a lot of people that have gone from, white to black quick, but they're Division 1 wrestlers, or they're judokas, Olympic-level judokas or something like that, where I went from nothing to something in such a short period of time in a country that it was quite very small at the time, especially. It's growing now, and I didn't train that much. So I think there's a lot to say about allowing your body enough time to rest and absorb that information and let it sink into your muscle memory, into your declarative memory, so that you can, do better. So you kind of got to figure out, and this could be individually unique to every single person. How much information can I absorb? Is 20 minutes a day enough for me? Or is do I need an hour? And what's too much? Is 2 hours too much? And you should know this yourself, because you get to a stage where you just can't retain the information. You get that mental fatigue where you just feel clouded and nothing's working. There, I feel like you've gone way too far. So my point is, you don't need to train 2 times a day to get anywhere. You can train 1 time a day. You can train 1 time every 2 or 3 days. As long as it's good training and you allow yourself time to recover from that, then it's good. The only time you want to train more than that, I think, is when you're trying to condition yourself for a competition. Now, competition is very different to just progression in jiu-jitsu. Competition, has a lot to do with your physical abilities, your conditioning and stuff like that. I've been better than people and lost to them because they're better conditioned. And I've beaten people that were better than me just because I was conditioned and they weren't. So competition is different. So you do need to make sure that you are in physical condition to last 10 minutes, because even if you are better and you can't submit him in the first 5, he's probably going to come and push that pace and end up burning you out really quickly. And I've been on the receiving end of that a lot, because I travel a lot and I don't train that much. This is more of a hobby for me to compete. I really like the coaching part, but competing is more of a hobby. So I've always been exposed to that kind of stuff. If I don't finish them really quickly, I'm in a little bit of trouble. But I'm trying to work on that now and try and be more disciplined when it comes to competitions, because I'm competing less, which allows me time to train a lot more. I just got invited to the ADCC. The ADCC is the best grappling competition in the world, and it was cool. I competed there 2 years ago, and to be invited is a really good privilege for me, and I really want to train hard for this and beat everyone, and just to show that you don't have to train so much and you don't have to do all the drilling. You can train smart and intelligently in a way that your body can, sustain for years to come. Anyway, just in case you forgot, there is hand cream here. I don't know why I keep looking at that and wondering what's that doing here with this hairdryer that is not going to suit me at all. Anyway, I've just gone off on a little tangent. I hope you enjoyed that. Please let me know what you think. Do you think there is a point, of diminishing returns with training, or do you think there's not? Do you think it's just, the more you train, the better you get, the harder you train, the better you get? I disagree with that, but I'd love to hear your opinion on that. And if you did enjoy this, please like, share, and comment. It helps a lot. I want to do more of these in the future. And the more you engage and the more you ask questions, the more I will produce. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and take it easy. Also, go to kitdaletraining.com and check out my other videos. You will like them. Go now. I talk about that a bit more. Okay, kitdaletraining.com. I have the Art of Learning Jiu-Jitsu, which talks about how I developed so quickly in Jiu-Jitsu, and I talk about the concepts and how I approach Jiu-Jitsu conceptually a lot more than the practical element of drilling and stuff like that. I try and get a good information and understand jiu-jitsu intellectually than just trying to develop muscle memory. So I go there in Art of Learning Jiu-Jitsu Volume 1 and 2, check it out. And my latest one was a Russian gripping masterclass, I believe, which talks about how to grip in no-gi. No one learns how to grip in no-gi. I never learned, but I had to develop it, and I had to use my knowledge from Russian wrestling into that. Anyway, now I'm going to let you go. Take it easy, and I love you. In a non-creepy way, but I love you. I love you. Bye-bye.